Good morning. What's today? Wednesday. I have hold on. I have some news for you. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. I'm responding to a text message. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. I won't be on here long today at all. As a matter of fact, today might be the last day that I have a chance to go live this week and give you all updates on what's going on in the tax streets in these tax relief resolution streets. Um, 1 second. Uh, hey, my um hands are ashy. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Oh my gosh, let me tell y'all something. The IRS is back sending seizure notices, and they're not playing. I'm gonna give y'all 1 minute to join. If you're already live, share it. If you're a tax professional, please share this information. And if you are not licensed, come and see me because I don't want y'all messing up these people cases. If you're not licensed, you don't know what to do, and these are one of the actions that the Internal Revenue Service takes that you got to know what you're doing. If you make the wrong move, you can cause someone bank accounts to be frozen or their assets to be seized. Let me put this radio on mute. So, good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm Melinda Tolbert. If this is your first time joining my live, welcome. I try to go live every now and then to provide you all updates what's going on in the tax streets, and um, this is very important. So, the IRS is kind of like the best way for me to describe them and not use any legal terms is they're kind of like a bitter baby mama or a bitter baby daddy. They got the kids, um, and they're not gonna stop. So there are two notices and letters that the Internal Revenue Service will send after they've sent you a few other notices to collect. So this webinar is not webinar. I do so many webinars. This live is for people that owe the IRS money. You've ignored the letters that they sent, and you have not gotten representation at all to resolve your tax issues. This live is for you. So they are sending out seizure letters. There is a letter 1058, and you'll when you get the letter in the mail, when you open it up, make sure you open. If you get a letter in the mail from the Internal Revenue Service, open it up. You will not receive a phone call from the Internal Revenue Service. And while I'm there, before I start talking about the seizure letters and what you need to do when you receive a seizure letter, let me give you all some information about scam. So I received a message from my assistant on Monday that a tax, I don't know if they were a taxpayer or a tax professional, but they called our office and said that someone was using our office number. She called it doing a spoof. I don't even know what that means. I haven't had a chance to look into it yet, but in short, somebody was calling around telling people that they were us. They was using my business name, and they were telling them that they needed their social security number and the amount that they owed. And they told them that they will get all of their IRS debt wiped out. Please do not ever, ever, ever give anyone your social security number over the phone. I don't even allow my clients to give me their social security number over the phone. We everything is done through our secure portal. That is a scam, artist. This is listen. I'll put anything past anybody. But before I go into the seizures, just know that the Internal Revenue Service, they will not call you and ask you for any of your personal information over the phone. It is very rare that that happens. Now, if a IRS agent pop up or a revenue officer pops up at your business or your home, that's a different story. That does happen, and that's what I am trying to prevent. So, IRS notice LT11 or letter 1058 are seizure notice. Seizure notices and seizure letters. If you receive one of those letters, list is playtime is over. So the Internal Revenue Service, they have they are required to send out a few collection notices before you receive the seizure notice. So they're going to send you a letter CP 501, CP 504-3, and a CP 504. Those are the collection notices that they are required to send you before you receive the levy or the seizure notices. Once you receive that that LT11 and that 1058, the IRS is saying, okay, so you thought I was playing with you. I done sent you a CP 504, a 503, and a CP 501, 3, and 4, and you have not responded. You think I'm playing with you. So I'm gonna show you that I'm not playing. And their next step is to send that 1058 in that letter, that LT11. After that, they're gonna take your shit. They are going to see this. This is what they have the rights to seize. They have the right to seize your wages, your social security benefits, and if you're a business owner, they can seize your accounts receivables. They can pretty much seize everything that you own. They can freeze all your assets. They have that right. The Internal Revenue Service is it's a business, and it's they're the they are the most powerful, I call them collection agency, because that's all they are. They're a collection agency, and they are out to collect taxes from you. Think of them, like I was saying earlier, as a bitter baby mama that ain't playing with her baby daddy. So you send out 3 text messages to your baby daddy before you put him on child support. The first text message is, hey, I need XYZ. I don't want to go through the courts. So let's work something out outside of court. Baby mama send the second text message. No response from baby daddy. Baby mama say she sent out the last text message saying, this is it. After this, if you don't respond, I'm going to put you on child support. And that's exactly how the Internal Revenue Service is. They send out those letters just like a baby mama would send out those text messages. And if that baby daddy don't respond, and especially if he's somewhere with another family taking care of another woman and their kids, that's exactly how the Internal Revenue Service looks at you when you are trying to get into one of their settlement programs. They look at your financials and they look at, well, who are you paying before you paid me? And that's why they need your financials. And that's why they want to know how much money you have in your bank account. That's why they want to know who you're paying. What other creditors are you paying? If you take a distribution out of your 401k and you don't pay me, and when I say pay me, I'm talking about the Internal Revenue Service, that pisses them off. So there are certain actions that they will take as to get their money. So that's an easy way for me to help you all understand how serious it is when you ignore the Internal Revenue Service. Please don't ignore them. And please do not try to take on the Internal Revenue Service by yourself, because it's almost impossible, especially if you owe in the 6 figures. It's almost impossible to win against them. Number one, you don't know tax law. And not knowing tax law, you're fighting a losing battle. because you don't know tax law. You don't know if what the revenue officer or the criminal investigator, you don't know if what they're doing is lawful or not. So how can you fight against them if you don't know if they are following the protocols, the policies, and the procedures? Because there are a lot of internal revenue service revenue officers that aren't following procedures. Thank you so much. They aren't following procedures. For instance, I got three new cases this week alone from clients that receive seizure letters. And that's why I'm doing this live, to let you know they are back and they are collecting. One of the seizure letters, I'm going to have to file an appeal because I work with this client and we submitted all the financials. So this case has a new revenue officer, and the revenue officer, instead of her going back, I don't know what happens when a case is reassigned to another revenue officer. I'm not sure if they don't receive all the financials or what, or if they're starting from fresh, but they cannot file a levy against this client because we've already submitted the financials. So I'm going to have to file a appeal. If you're trying to take on the Internal Revenue Service yourself, how do you know when to file an appeal? Do you even know how to file an appeal? Do you know what information to put in the appeal? Do you know the forms and the letters that's needed to complete the appeal and to attach with the appeal? So when we say that you need to get representation, this is why I'm saying you need to get representation. Also, you need to know what actions not to take, because some actions that you take when you are responding to the Internal Revenue Service, some of those actions will stop the statute clock. And what that means is the Internal Revenue Service, they have 10 years to collect. If they don't collect in those 10 years, then they have to wipe that debt out. If somebody clock is about to run out and you do an action that stops that clock, you're not hurting. I mean, you're not helping the client, you're hurting the client. And I hate to see that. I got a new case a few weeks ago, and this client's clock stopped over 600 and some days. Like, do you know how many years that is? That's not even legal. It's not even legal. So it's things like that that you need to know before you try to take on the Internal Revenue Service. Let me see. Can they seize SSI? Yes, they can. They can seize your Social Security benefits, and they will. I've had a client that came to me because the Internal Revenue Service seized their Social Security benefits. It can happen. They don't. They don't. They don't give nobody a pass. They don't care. If you ignore them, they are going to go after and seize whatever income you have coming in. It doesn't matter what the income is coming from. If you got income coming in, you best to believe the IRS can seize it. They can put a freeze on your bank account. Where's that letter? They can. I love my family. Yes, ma'am. They sure can. If you're a realtor, they can seize your commission. I partner with real estate brokerages because some of them are not aware that if they have a realtor that's working in their brokerage and they owe the Internal Revenue Service and they are ignoring the Internal Revenue Service, the Internal Revenue Service can garnish your commission checks. And that harms the realtor and the broker, because the broker, you won't get paid either. They're not going to split it. They're not going to say, okay, here you go, broker, you get your portion and I'll seize the rest of the commission check. It don't work that way. They're going to seize the entire commission check. Yes, they will. You're welcome. You're welcome. um Automobiles. They'll take they can seize your automobiles. And people ask a lot of times, well, how do they know what kind of cars I own or what cars I own? DMV. The DMV, your DMV records and your credit report, and they have other resources that they use to find your assets. So don't ever think that you are outsmarting the Internal Revenue Service, especially if you have assets in your name. You have assets in your name and you're ignoring the Internal Revenue Service after they sent you a plethora of collection notices. That's not a good idea at all. And yeah, you are welcome. So if you're just joining, I am, well, go back and just review the video. I just gave you all a rundown, and this is for people that owe the Internal Revenue Service. You have an unpaid balance. You've received the collection notice 501, 503, and 504, and any other notices or letters that they've mailed you, and you've ignored them, thinking that they're going to go away. They're not going to go away. Just like that bitter baby mama ain't going nowhere until she put that man on child support and get money however way they can. The Internal Revenue Service is the same way. I promise you, they aren't going anywhere. And some of you think because you haven't heard from them that you got away. You either moved and they don't have your new address, or they are just behind. But please believe, like now, they are back collecting. They're back sending the LT11s and the 1058s. They haven't sent out those letters in a while, but now I'm starting to see them come in. So that means that they are back actively collecting. I don't know if it has anything to do with this new administration that we have now with President Trump. I don't know what's happening with the Internal Revenue Service, but they are back collecting, and I need you all to take these letters seriously. What you can do if you cannot afford representation is read the letter, make sure that what they're saying you owe, you actually owe. Contact the Internal Revenue Service. There are instructions in the letter that you can follow to help you resolve the issue. But I highly recommend you get representation, even if it's not me. I'm cool with that. What I'm not cool with is you not taking action on those letters that they're sending you, because I don't want you to call me and, like some people do, after I warn them, all right, you keep ignoring them, they're gonna put a freeze on your bank account. And they just wait it out. And they wait it out until it actually happens. And then they call me, they got me, MJ. Now it costs more. It will cost you more if you retain me after the seizure than if you retain me before they seized your assets. Because it's just gonna be a lot more work for me to do. So don't be one of those taxpayers. I gotta go because I gotta get ready for a meeting, and I have a lot to prepare for. Let me see if I have any questions before I jump off. I don't see any questions anywhere. And please excuse the way I'm looking this morning. This is my I got a lot of shit to do today. Look, and I ain't got time to put on no clothes. So I throw on my hoodie because I know I'm gonna be in this office late today working these cases. Well, I don't see any more questions. If you all need me, you know how to find me. mjtax.com. Do not send me any messages on Facebook because I do not respond to those messages. We got a whole staff for you to call to schedule a consultation. I do not like scheduling appointments outside of the way our system is, because I start dropping balls that way, and I don't like dropping balls. We have a system in place. Please follow the system. Please follow our processes, and you can get scheduled. You're welcome. Y'all have an amazing week. Talk to y'all soon. Peace.